Just a second, I just want to get the other stuff set up. There you go. Perfect. I'm on the West Coast, so it's 9 a.m. here. Okay. I don't need to hear myself.
Good morning, Victor.
Good morning.
How you doing?
How are you, Jason?
Good. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Thanks. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for asking. Your
Hey,
name?
man. Jason. Yeah, what's yours?
Moises.
Yes. What is it?
Moises? Or you can call me Moses.
Okay. Moises. Okay, I got you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What is it?
Moises? Or you can call me Moses.
Okay.
If you guys are hearing feedback, that's just because we have two
Oh.
backgrounds.
Well, I was able to hear his name again, so that way I'll remember.
There you go. That helps you out, right? If you're like
That's
me,
right.
if you're like me, I can be terrible with names. You can tell me a name, and I'll turn my head, and I'll be like, "What was your person's name again?"
I hate it too because
That's why I got a pen.
I hate that. Yeah, I hate that too because it's especially if if it's somebody you really want to that you like
Connect
and you
with.
want to remember their name,
Yeah.
But
It's a big deal.
it just goes right out the window sometimes.
So, Jason, I think you've been on the call before, right? Yeah,
I have. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks.
But Moises, this is your first time in the.
First time ever.
Okay, all right.
Brand new.
So let me start with Moises. Tell me a little bit about your background, man. How did you end up here?
Well, I have been doing some real estate cold calling, I guess, just the very basics. Um, I did learn through, I'm not sure if you know Brent Daniels,
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
script.
Yeah.
That's what I was
TPP,
using.
right?
Yeah, I was using that technique. Um, but now that I met Myra, I guess I'm getting a little deeper into this real estate, and she started mentioning with this cloud diamonds, and it's a whole different technique that and I like it so far, but I do have questions. It's
Okay.
not gonna be easy.
No, it's a little bit different. It's quote unquote gutsy. It has a particular methodology that is targeted at you being direct without being abrasive,
Mm-hmm.
directed towards you going for a decision today, as opposed to waiting as long as they want you to wait. And it's anti-presentation.
Okay.
So we don't really focus on scripts and presentation models and stuff like that.
That's right.
As you'll see throughout the role play and stuff, we'll do more things that have to do with you listening, engaging, and then trying to move that over to a decision. Okay. So you'll get to understand it. So Myra's my sweetie. I love her. We were talking from the time I think I met Claude. I think shortly thereafter, her and I kind of made some acquaintance, and she asked me about you, and this is so when you said that, then I was like, oh, Moises, now I know who this is. When you said Myra, now it all makes sense.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Moises. Appreciate
Thank
having you
you.
here, my friend. Hopefully you learned some stuff. And let me just invite some people to the room. Then I'll have you ask some questions or whatever if you have any, or you can engage in role play with
Sure.
us, all that.
I'll try.
George, how you doing, my friend? Welcome this morning. And Mark Richardson, Marvin Elmore, welcome, you guys. So let me just kind of go back a little bit. I'm going to share my screen real quick and just kind of review a little bit of, what our methodology is, let me know when you can see my screen.
I see it.
Okay, so you see the mastering the phone to get property deals. All right,
Right.
so this kind of, in a nutshell, capsulizes what we are trying to accomplish on any given phone call. If you don't have it, you can get it, or you can just do a screenshot of it and, you know, crop it out or whatever. But basically, there's 3 rules to this, and the 3 rules, the whole intention of this conversation, typically when you get on the phone with somebody, by the time you get on the phone, there's someplace around a 4 or 5 as far as motivation goes, right? They may be more, but when you first get on the phone, you have no idea. So our whole goal is to move them to an 8, 9, or 10. Ideally, you want them at a 10, where they're totally committed to what it is that you presented to them, and allow them to move forward and move quickly and take the property off the market, and then it's just you and them. So that's always your goal, right? We basically operate on the 3 rules. You always set the agenda, and you'll see on some role play how, you know, we kind of do that. We use what is called a 3-minute rule, which basically you want to get them qualified or disqualified within 3 minutes. Why? Because of your mental energy. We operate on the principle that the salesman is the most important person on the phone. Okay, so the whole time you're on the phone, you're looking to protect yourself. You're going to offer them whatever you can offer, but emotionally, mentally, you're trying to protect yourself in terms of, you know, what your mindset is going to be left at when you get off this phone. You don't let nobody beat you up. You don't let nobody, you know, be rude to you. You control the situation. And if somebody's not qualified, rule number 3 is you must fire them. If they're not qualified, figure it out as quickly as possible and get them off the phone, so you can keep that energy and enthusiasm for your next phone call. Because if you're doing a bunch of calls and you're not handling your emotional state during those calls, man, it could go downhill real fast for you, right? You'll start losing your energy. Next day, it becomes really difficult for you to, you know, pick up that phone, and you call it the million-pound cactus, right? Where it just feels like it's a million-pound and it's a cactus. So you never get to your phone calls. Our goal is to have 5 conversations a day, which means if you can have 5 solid conversations with good prospects on a daily basis, it is inevitable that you are going to find a deal that you can close. You might need some help closing it, but you can find a deal if you can source a way to have 5 solid conversations a day with people. All right. So in setting the agenda, these are the rules right here. And I don't want to go through them all, but basically you're going to set an agenda, which means you're going to a roadmap, get permission to ask some questions, and also give them permission to fire you. That's a little unique in this system, and it gives people a lot of space to feel like, you know, they're not under that sort of pressure. And then you do the qualifying questions. Why are you selling? How soon do you need to sell? How much are you trying to get for the property? Where did you get that price from? Okay, if I can give you those things, can we move forward with an agreement today? That's the basic. That's basically it in a nutshell, right? And then before you get off, you want to recap, make sure that you have covered everything that they expect you to cover, or that you covered during the phone call, I should say. Solved and satisfied, which means, does that solve your problem? Are there any other questions? Ask questions. Confirm, change, close, which means you confirm everything. Is there anything I need to change? Great, I'm gonna get this over to you right now, and I will follow up with you at a particular time. Okay, so that's the process. Obviously, there's a bunch of nuances that can go on in between.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's see, we got some new folks. Hi, Jaime, how you doing? Hey, Luz. You guys.
Hey, Vic.
Hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining.
Hello.
Jason, did you have a question?
No, I was just saying hello to whoever just came on.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, just a general, hey.
Okay, so for the first time, and I've been inviting this guy forever. We have a gentleman, he calls himself Mr. Cash Offer over here. If you guys want to hear somebody who really has taken on the gut system and really has sort of mastered the skill set, you'll get an opportunity to hear him today. Hopefully, you'll participate with us. Welcome to the call, my friend. Appreciate you joining us today.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys. I'm ready, man. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. You stay ready. Stay ready. So guys, does anybody have anything right now that they had a challenge with this week that they didn't have an answer for, or feel like they need to work on something in terms of that? Is there any challenges that you're facing right now that you'd like to role play right away?
I guess I do.
Okay, tell me about it.
So my plan for today, and after this, is to start making sale by owners.
Yeah.
And I do have, like a little, I guess I don't know how to start the call since it's already for sale by owner. I can't,
Okay.
use my same technique with this one.
Okay.
Thinking what would be a good way to start a call
Okay.
on a for sale by owner list.
Well, just so you know, that's my primary prospect is for sale by owners.
Okay.
So what kind of deals are you targeting right now?
What kind of deals, sir?
What kind of deals are you trying to structure right now?
None. That's why I was trying to learn how to start a call.
Okay, so first of all, if you're calling for sale by owners, that's a particular type of seller, right? That means that they've already raised their hands. They've already said, I'm selling this property. But now we have to determine where they are mentally in terms of, are they flexible at all with this situation? Okay, so typically you're looking as an investor for one of two things: price or terms.
Price and terms. Okay.
Right? So that's the question you need to find out now. Are you flexible in your price, or are you flexible in terms? One or the other. Because if they're not flexible in price, then you've got to try to design something that allows them to get the price, which means that you're going to have to create some terms that will allow you, because you're not in this business to pay retail for any real estate property. So the thing that you could do, though, is you could grab some money out of the deal by giving them the price that you agree upon, selling it a little bit higher and keeping the difference. Okay, so so lease options tend to be the choice for dealing with for sale by owner situations.
Lease option. So
That's your first. That's always something that's available to you, right? If whether or not you can close it, don't know, but you want to start there. Also, there's the opportunity for a subject to, which means that it's subject to the existing financing on the property if you can go there with them.
Okay.
Okay, so those are going to be your two primary closing methods when it comes to for sale by owner type properties. If you're doing lists, you're buying lists, you're doing different types of lists. Now you're in a whole different arena. The thing I want to say about lists is that every list is cold. No matter how wonderful they tell you that this is and how much that, unless they just got off the phone with that person. And right now, in most of the systems that we use, those are aggregated lists. In other words, they were put together, they were drawn down from particular systems, they were sourced through particular systems such as title companies or whatever. My point being is that those people have no idea who you are. So
Exactly.
each one of those lists starts off as a cold call. That's a whole different process than speaking to someone who raised their hand and said, I'm selling my stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's a whole different conversation, it's a whole different process. You want to come from warming them up, building some relationship, and moving them towards, what it is that you can do to solve their problem,
That's right.
right? So a lot of times when we get into the real estate business, just know that real estate is just the product for us, okay? What we really are is, if you want to succeed in this business, we're two things. We're exceptional marketers. So the better your marketing game, the better your opportunity to succeed in real estate. Or we are problem solvers, or I should say, and we are problem solvers. The real estate is secondary. Really, I mean, it's not, we always say we're real estate investors, but the real estate is just an element of finding someone and solving their problem. So just think of it in those terms. They have to have some real estate, obviously, because that's what we do. But first, you have to find them. And second, you have to solve a problem.
So it's like a funnel.
That's the business that you're in. So the minute you start thinking that, oh, I'm in the real estate business per se, you're really not. You're in the marketing business and you're in the problem solving business. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you want, we can role play you doing some cold calls to a client, and we can kind of go from there. What I'd like to do is maybe have you start off, and you're going to call me and you're going to do your best that you can do. Okay, don't be embarrassed. Don't be, we all suck at different levels, right? So don't be ashamed. We all do it. But just call me and you let me know how would you approach me, and then we'll do some role playing in terms so you can see what the distinction is and how different the approaches would be.
Okay.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So ring ring, you're calling me.
Hi, I'm looking for Mr. Victor.
This is he.
How are you, sir? This is Moises calling,
Hey,
and
Moises.
I know you are being bombarded by real estate agents calling and trying to list your home for sale. But I buy houses just like yours all the time, and wanted to see if I can come up with a solution that works best for you, if that's okay with you.
Okay. All right. What you got?
Um, well, first, see that your house is offer at 215,000.
Yeah.
How come it's not sold yet?
That's a good question. Not really sure. I think
I
that's a
mean,
good price. Not really sure.
are you planning maybe on lowering the price?
Not if I can help it.
Hmm.
Hey, can I chime in real quick?
Yes,
Go
absolutely.
ahead.
Jump in there.
How do you say your name?
It's
Moises.
Moses, like Moses with an I.
Yeah.
So
Moises.
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 okay, Moises. All right, great, man. What I would say is what you said in the beginning. Why hasn't it sold yet? I would come right into the phone call like that. So I would jump in and, hey, Mr. Victor,
Yeah.
hey, what's going on? This is Chris Scott. I was just calling. Man, I'm curious. Why on earth hasn't that house sold yet?
Man, Chris, I have no idea, man. I got it at a good price.
Well, you know what they say, man. The market will tell you what the property is really valued at, man. If you don't mind, I'm interested in your property. I'm an investor. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Perfect.
And that Moises, that's how I would go right in with the pattern interrupt.
Okay, but was the beginning of the call good enough? I guess.
For me, no.
Too much talking?
Yeah, because I think you would put the prospect on the defense early by saying, hey, I'm an investor, or you probably getting a bunch of calls, and they can easily just start, becoming real ugly and dirty to you. And I like to put them on their heels faster than they can put me on my heels. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so you come in with a question and let them start, and you take control of the conversation immediately.
Okay.
You're welcome to go through the role play with him if you want. I can, because I usually just like to, comment on it and do it right afterwards. So if you want to be the buyer, in
I
this
think
case,
I think I would do better if I can listen for it. I mean, maybe a couple of role plays.
okay, well, why don't you be you can be well, actually, you know what? If you want to listen to me, I'll be the seller and you be the buyer, Chris.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
I'll take some notes.
Yeah. Let me have.
Hey, Mr. Vic, is this Victor?
It is.
Hey, Victor, this is Chris Scott. I was just giving you a call today. I was following up with you. I was curious. Hey, why on earth hasn't that property sold yet?
I don't know, Chris. I have no idea, bro. I thought it'd be gone by now.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. If you were able to get someone who could come in and get you your price or some terms, that wouldn't be something you'd be interested in. You wouldn't want to move forward and do a deal today, would you?
Well, yeah, Chris, I would absolutely love to do a deal today. What do you mean terms? I don't know about all that.
Oh, sure. I appreciate you asking me that question. I'm an investor. I need either a really good price or I need terms.
Well, you know what, Chris? I've been getting a bunch of calls from investors, and you guys seem to want to, just take my house out from under me, and I'm not giving it away.
Well, yeah, no, you shouldn't give it away, sir. And you deserve to get exactly what you want for the property. Let me ask you this, Victor. Is it okay if I just ask you a few quick questions just to kind of figure out which way we could do business today?
Sure.
Great. I appreciate that, sir. And I want to let you know that, no matter what I say or do, I want to let you know that it's okay to say no to me. Is that fair? I want you to fire me if you don't like what I propose.
Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that.
Great. I appreciate it. You're a gentleman, sir. Victor, let me ask you, is the house vacant or is it occupied?
It's vacant.
It's vacant? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not costing you or anything, is it? There's no mortgage on it or anything, is it?
Actually, there is, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, my wife would kill me if she knew I was making payments on a property that was sitting vacant.
It's kind of like, we just got some stuff done to it. It's moving ready. It's all that. So, we expected that we would have a month or so to get the house ready. So,
I see. So this is a rehab. This is something that you renovated and you're just putting it on the market. You're trying to get retail.
Yeah. It was a rental for a long time, and then the tenant moved out, so I decided to do a little bit of upgrades and stuff on there, and it's in good shape. It's in really good shape, and a family could move in there right now if they wanted to.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: why, is this a slow retail sale, or is this something that you're interested in doing? Are you motivated enough to do something quickly?
Man, I'd like to get it over with as quickly as possible, to be honest with you.
Here's what why would an investor like me be interested in a property like this?
Because it's a great property.
Okay. Well, I'm an investor, sir, and so here's what I like to. I like to make you an offer. Are you the only decision maker, or I understand you said there's a spouse or something like that, or how do you make decisions in your household?
I have a spouse, but she's not on title.
Okay, but ultimately you'll have to go back to her, and you guys will have to.
Well, we'll discuss it, and we'll make a decision together that serves us both. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Would it be possible if me and you were to come to an agreement that we could get your wife on the phone as well? Just to make sure that we're all on the same accord.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to get her on the phone. I mean, I just want to keep her in the loop and just have the conversation. But ultimately, I'll decide, and she'll go along with whatever I decide. She knows I know what I'm doing.
Okay, okay. Well, so I just want to circle back. You said it's a good house. You're making mortgage payments on it, but you were expecting to make those payments on the property. And so, I mean, but it seems like a great house. I mean, why even sell it right now? I mean, you were getting good rental income. You made fixes up to it. Why not just keep cash flowing the property? I mean, it was doing really well for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So off the role play real quick. Did you see what he just did? He realized that right now we're at the surface conversation. He realized that I'm just, there's more to this conversation than meets the eye. So he basically started asking a question to go a little bit deeper and find out a little bit more motivation about what it is that it's going to take me to be able to deal with him. Because right now I'm sort of a little bit in fantasy land. I haven't listed, I think I can spend as long as I can spend. And we all know that that's not true, right? Nobody can just keep putting, good money after bad and expecting to get it back. So this is where he's going with it. Anyway, back on the role play. So, you know what, man? I got some new grandkids, and they down in Atlanta, and I want to get closer to them, man. I want to spend some time with my grandkids, and it's a little bit difficult being way over here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it couldn't be that bad, though. I mean, with that type of rental income, just round numbers, how much were you getting in rental income?
I was getting 1,600.
1,600. Wow. With that type of money, I mean, you can fly out every month and go see them. I mean,
it ain't the same, man. That's wear and tear. I'm a little longer in the tooth now, and I'm not really trying to, get on airplanes every weekend. I want my grandkids to be able to come over and, whenever they're ready, and play with them, and, stuff like that.
So where are you living now? I mean, this rental property, it's sitting vacant.
Yeah, I'm over here, and I'm over here in Albany now.
You're in Albany, Georgia. So okay, so you're just trying to get a little closer to them, and you're going to use this cash to what? Maybe sell your house and buy another house. Is that correct?
Yeah, okay. or rent a place, or maybe get a condo or something.
But no rush or anything, right? I mean, if it takes 6 months to sell it, I mean that's fine, right?
Oh, no, definitely don't want to take 6 months to sell it. I don't want to pay mortgage for 6 months.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have enough money saved up. I mean, that's generally how long it takes to really sell a property. I mean, it couldn't be that bad, right?
Yeah, man, it's I mean, it's not horrible. I mean, I could do it if I need to, but it's not my first choice.
Okay. Let me ask, what do you need from me in order for us to do a deal today?
Well, I'm asking 250.
250.
Yeah.
Is that fair, or is that above market?
That's what other properties in the area are going for. I mean, I think I priced it out. I did some analysis. I looked at what other people were doing. I got some opinions from some realtors, and came up with that price.
I mean, why didn't the realtor want to list this property? I mean, it sounds like it'd be something that I'd be excited to list.
Man, okay, I'm gonna be real straight with you. I'm not really trying to give away that much of my money.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me, by the way, sir.
Yeah.
And I can respect that. I can tell you're a very intelligent man, and that you want to make the most out of your properties that you have. So here's what I like to propose, sir.
Okay.
let's pretend for a second. Let's imagine for a second. I said I'll give you the 250 number. You give me terms. I'll give you 10,000 down, 1,500 a month for the next 36 months, and then I'll cash you out at the end of that term. Something like that. That's if I could do something like that for you, that wouldn't work, would it?
Well, hold on. Now I hadn't even considered anything like that.
And it's okay to say no to me, Victor.
I need to know a little bit more before I say no. I mean, you got me intrigued right now. I'm curious about what it is that you're talking about. Tell me a little bit more about that. How's that work?
No, I most definitely. I appreciate you asking me. Let me ask you, what about that offer sounds good to you? What about that offer would entice you for us to do a deal today?
Well, I mean, it sounds like there's an opportunity for some, regular monthly cash flow. I'm okay as far as the move and everything like that. But man, I'm not interested in renting you the property and being a landlord and doing none of that stuff. So, it sounds good, but it also sounds like it's got a bunch of, strings attached that I'm not really trying to hang on to no strings right now. Like, the $10,000 down, that'll probably get me what I need in terms of, moving money. But, so real quick off the role play, what I do different than what Chris just did different is Chris came out with an offer, and Chris offered a particular amount. Now, Chris does this all the time, so he has his own thinking process. Me personally, when I do it, Chris, I never ever name a price. In fact, my conversation at that level is, so typically what we do is we make sure you get your first and last, and then we do a security deposit. Sometimes I like to do something in the area of 3,000, 3,500 or so, and get this locked down. You'll get a monthly payment that will cover all of your expenses and put some money in your pocket. How does that sound so far, Mr. Seller? So I always start off way lower than that in terms of what I'm going to give you, because if I'm at a full price, let's say that I am at full price and I can't get him to come down a little bit with that price, I have to now sell that property above that price. And if I got to give him 10,000 and I want to make 10,000, that means I got a $20,000 window that I gotta play in. Plus, there's some ancillary costs that I want to build into too. So I'm at about 3,500 right now, or I should say 2,300. Yeah, no, I'm at 20,000, 23,000, something like that, in order to get this deal closed. Now, if you're dealing in lease options, that's a little difficult proposition, at least for me. But Chris, obviously he does this. You can tell from his conversation, he ain't new to the game. He understands what he's doing. But I noticed that that's just a little bit different than how I come at it. So anyway, so back on the role play, because if you offer me 10,000, so you're telling me that you're gonna give me 10,000 and you're gonna give me some monthly payments. Is that what I heard?
Hold on, time out. I just want to add on for educational purposes. I do a lot of owner finance.
Okay, so you do some subject to type thing,
right? And so I'll get on a $250,000 house. I'll generally get about 10% of that.
Nice.
So
nice.
That'll be my spread, and I'll have a 9% interest rate. And so that's a little bit different from a lease purchase.
Tell me about the 9% interest rate. Well, we'll talk. We'll finish the role play, and then maybe you and I can talk about that, because I'm really curious about that.
Okay, great. All right, so
you can give me 10,000, and you can give me 1,500 a month in cash flow. Is that what you're telling me?
I have to. Let me ask you. let's pretend. If I said yes to that offer, what would you say to me next?
Man, I guess I would ask a question. When would I get the rest of my money? Would be my next question. Like, when am I going to get the rest of my money?
That's a good question, sir. And you know, if I was in your shoes, I'd ask that exact same question. I appreciate you asking me that question, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It's generally how we do it. It's generally 36 to 60 months. I put out there 36 months. So, you know, I'm a man of my word, and I'll stick to that. And you seem like an individual, when you make a commitment, you go through with it. If I were able to get you your money in, let's say, 36 months, something like that's not what you're looking for, is it?
You know, it might not be. I don't know if I can go, 36 months. That's quite a long time.
Okay.
I was hoping to be out of this, before that.
Okay. Well, what are your thoughts? When were you
I
looking
could
to
probably give you 24 months, man, but that's probably about the most I can do.
Okay. So so let me get this correct. I just want to make sure I understand. So if I say yes to the 24 months, we do 10,000 down for 24 months, 1,500 a month, and then I cash you out at the end of that term. Is that what you're looking for? You wouldn't want to move forward and sign a contract today, would you?
Man, this is all new to me. This is but I like where
It's okay to say no to me, sir. I don't want to pressure you.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no, but I need a little bit of time to digest this. Like I've never even heard of anything like this. I like where you're going with it, but I'll be honest with you, all I knew was over the counter. All this is brand new to me. I'm man. So can you tell me a little bit more? Because am I going to be doing the maintenance? Because like I said, I'm not. I'm just trying to get gone from here. I'm trying to have this behind me. I'm not mowing another lawn or fixing another faucet. None of that.
And that's a great question, sir. By the way, that's a really good. Why is that important to you, sir? That you doing the maintenance and the repairs?
Because I don't want to do it.
Okay. So if I pretend for a second, I say that I'll take care of the maintenance. I'll take care of all of the repairs on the property, and we'll put something together in the exact same way that I just expressed, as far as the cash down, the monthly payment, and what you'll get at the end of that term. If I was help you move on to the next phase of your life, get closer to your grandchildren, sell your other house here in Albany, buy you a new beautiful home, have your grandchildren running around with you, hanging out, being able to teach them, educate them, and just show them that love that you want to do as a grandparent. If I was able to help you get there and do that, sir, can we move forward and do business today? Or is it over with? Should I just get lost?
No, man, that's what I want to get done. I just need to be, a little bit more understanding of,
So I'll take care of the repairs. I'll take care of all of the maintenance on the property. I'll own the property. The property will be mine. You won't have to worry about any repairs, any maintenance, or anything like that. You'll just get mailbox money. You'll get some money.
Well, if the property's gonna be yours, why don't you just cut me a check and we gonna go on about our business? I mean, I don't understand, all the in-betweens.
Well, sir, that's a good question. You're asking full price. I'm willing to give you that full price, but if you would be willing to give me terms. And so what I need from you, sir, is for you to kick around in your head that you'll take some money down. You'll basically be the bank. You'll finance me, and you'll get some money down just like a bank. I'll pay you monthly. And then at the end of our agreed term, I'll cash you out of the loan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, let me see if I understand. So what happens to my financing right now? What, how, because I got a mortgage on this property now of about 100,000.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I gotta pay that. Are you gonna pay it?
Yeah. So essentially what'll take place is the 1,500, it'll pay the mortgage. And then whatever's left over will come to your pocket. And so,
Oh, okay. So I don't really get 1,500. I get, I get 1,500. And but okay. So you're not paying off the mortgage?
no, the
No.
mortgage will stay in place, but I'll cash the mortgage. We'll cash out the loan at the end of our term.
Have you ever done this before? I mean, I like what you're saying, but to be honest, I don't know you. I mean, this sounds complicated, man. Like, it sounds kind of complicated.
Well, sir, to me, here's what I like to say, sir.
Okay.
I've done this, several over hundreds of times. And I could go down through this and break this with you, break this down for you and help you understand this a little better. But here's what I'd like to understand from you. If I were to go on and express and explain to you this thoroughly with you,
Yeah.
is this something that you would even consider, or am I just wasting my time, sir?
Yeah, you know what? I would consider it. I think I'm a everything in its place type of thinker. So I just kind of need to know how it works. I like what you're saying. I like the process. I mean, with that 1,500, I'm still up about $1,000 because I got a really good deal on it's actually a line of credit that isn't even fully, but it needs to be paid off. So I'm good with that. I'm good with the 1,500, but
All right.
I mean, and here, and also I think I might have a due on sale.
Okay. So here's what I'll do.
Okay.
I'll give you some money down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll step into your shoes. I'll start making those mortgages payments for you. I'll make by the way, how much is that mortgage payment, sir?
The mortgage payment is 535, something like that.
535. Okay. And then you said that you have 100,000 remaining on the loan.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'll step into your shoes. I'll give you some money down. I'll make the mortgage payment for you. The remaining $1,000 will go to your pocket. That'll be mailbox money. And then in 24 months, I'll basically cash out the loan. You'll get the remaining balance of your mortgage and our price that we set aside, and the difference will go to you. I'll take care of all the maintenance, all the repairs on the property. Only thing you have to do is kick around in your head is leaving the mortgage in place for a period of time, and that's it. You'll just become the bank. You'll hold like a second mortgage on the property. If I'm able to do something like that for you, sir, help you get closer to your family, you wouldn't want to move forward and do business today, would you?
Well, you definitely got my attention. You definitely got my attention. I definitely need a little bit more information. Like, am I going to be getting some interest on this money, or since I'm acting as the bank?
You're going to get exactly what we just discussed.
So no interest?
You're going to get $1,000 a month for the next 24 months, and then I'm going to cash you out at the agreed price that we just agreed on.
Okay, so no interest. All right. All right, man. This is, definitely want to think about it, but
it sounds like it's over with, Mr. Victor. It doesn't sound like we're going to be able to do business today. Am I right in that assumption?
No, you're not right. Like I said, I just got a few questions. You just introduced this concept to me today. So, I've never even heard of anything like this, but I'm a logical person. I like where it's going. I like the idea of it. I mean, I would like to see some interest, on my money, or, because this house could be worth a little bit more in 2 years. So,
I can't give you any interest. I'm giving you your full price. I'm giving you $1,000 monthly, and I'm going to cash you out at the time frame that you asked, sir. I'm doing a lot in regards to trying to meet your needs. So if that doesn't work for you, sir, then I think it's over with, sir. Just fire me. Tell me I'm fired, please.
All right. Well, you'll send me over some paperwork or something.
And I'll send you over some paperwork. I'll be more than happy to get you an offer in your inbox so that you can look over. But when I send that offer over, can you do me a favor? It's going to take me a lot of time. It's going to take me a couple hours to put that offer together, and basically draw this paperwork up. Can you do me a favor? When I call you later today at 4:00, can you just tell me yes or no? That's all I ask, sir. You don't have to tell me I need to think about it more with my wife or my pet rock or my dog or anything like that. You can just tell me yes or no. Is that fair?
Yeah, man, that's fair.
I appreciate your time. So I'm going to draft up this information. I'm going to get that over to you. I look forward to talking with you later today at 4:00.
Okay.
Bye-bye,
okay.
sir.
All right. So I'm going to assume you already have my email and all that stuff.
Victor, I would have.
I just did it for role play sake. I normally.
I understand.
I would have got your email and all of that, but
yeah.
You kept going around in circles with me, and so, I'm just gonna either fire you or I'm gonna send you an offer, and then we'll circle back to see if you got any other questions or anything like that. But I don't want to keep going back and forth with somebody who doesn't really seem like they want to make a decision.
Is that the impression you got, that I didn't want to make a decision? I mean, because
it sounds like you're interested but not motivated enough to do something today.
Got it. Okay.
So on the barometer, I would put you at like a 7.
All right, I get that. So when you call somebody, typically, and this is I so much appreciate, and I'm sure everybody in the audience is appreciating this too, man. You really, because this has been a topic of conversation that's come up regularly in terms of doing the subject twos and stuff like that. So this is amazing that you're sharing this with us. So whenever you call a subject two, and are they typically interested? I mean, because I was playing it like somebody who was just introduced to a concept that they'd never heard of before, knew of before, seen before. So, but your response to me was that I didn't seem interested. You actually had me quite intrigued about it. I was actually probably closer to an 8 or 9 in terms of my motivation. What I didn't have was an understanding.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So when you typically call somebody and you're introducing this new concept to them, how much rope do you give them in the area of understanding?
Good question, man. I try to help them as much as I can to kind of understand this, but generally, from my experience, if you don't have an understanding of what I'm saying, then you're more likely not to do it.
Okay.
So because you're going to be afraid that you're taken advantage of, and so when they act like that, for me, that's like a signal that, okay, this person, it has to be extreme motivation. You have to have said like, I'm going to lose it, or I'm going to, I'm in a divorce or whatever. It had to be like something where it was absolute necessary for you to get rid of this property. You don't have to get rid. You have another house. It's a rental property. You know, you're not extremely motivated, and then you're not familiar with the process. So you're more susceptible to just keep it on the market rather than allow me
Yeah,
to.
because I'm now going to just be in mass confusion, and nobody makes a decision when they're confused and, you know, have all those questions in their mind.
Right.
I totally get that, man. I get that. So, you know, from the premise, and I think where we kind of, you know, veered off is my original premise was thinking, you know, a lease option conversation. So when it switched to that, it kind of, you know, changed the dynamics of where we were going. But man, there's so much golden nuggets in what you just shared, and you know what we're looking for. So for someone to do the lease option, you're saying that they need to come in at a higher level of motivation. There has to be something pushing them towards the possibility that they could come up short in this deal if they don't take action. And your action allows them to win while putting money in their pocket and giving them a cash flow. Is that how you present?
Yeah, and most of the instances of the properties that I have, it was, and just in general, when just being an investor, we're looking for motivated sellers. We're looking for really highly motivated people, whether that's just a wholesale deal or that's terms, lease option, or subject to, or owner finance. You know, they need to be motivated to think about something creative.
Yeah.
And if they don't have that extreme motivation, oftentimes they're not going to make that decision right away. Now, over time, they may come around to it, but you know, that's not something that it's not going to be a one call close. It may take some months. He may have to sit on the market longer, or, you know, get some other offers. And right now it's a seller's market, so everybody thinks that they can get, you know, top dollar.
Yeah. Man, that was a lot of really good information. Jason, did you have a question? Or did I see?
Yeah. If you don't mind, just while it's still a hot topic, so to speak. Chris, did you? So you mentioned, you know, somewhere in the role play about 9% interest. What was that pertaining to?
Owner finance. So when I buy a property, I may buy it subject to, or I may buy it like, you know, a second mortgage, or a type, that term that I just used with him, 10 down, 1,500, and then I'll cash you out at agreed upon date. But what I do is I turn around and do a wrap mortgage, and I will get some, you know, basically what you guys would consider a tenant buyer. I would do the exact same thing. I get a tenant buyer who has more cash to put down, and then they'd be willing to pay a higher interest rates on a wrap mortgage. And so, you know, if I may do 250 with this guy, and I may get 25,000 down from my tenant buyer, they may pay 2,000, 2,200, something like that a month. Basically, I'll sell it at, I may only sell it at 260 or something like that, but I'll do 9% interest with 10% down, and I'll make more money on the down and on the interest.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense. Appreciate that.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. Hey, you guys, give Chris a hand. That was fantastic, bro. You bring in the noise. Appreciate you. You have anything you wanted to share, or?
No, not really. I just came to, you know, do some role playing, and
Right on. Well, you know, you've
That was
already
awesome.
made an amazing contribution, bro. That's why I've been chasing you all this time. I know you've been running from me, but you know, I appreciate you showing up.
Oh man.
Hey Victor, I got a question.
Yeah. Who is that?
This is George.
Hey, George.
Hey man, at some point when you were asking, you know, saying that I don't know how this thing works, would that be an opportunity maybe to send over the lease option agreement and go over it with him while both of you are on the phone, maybe to give him some clarity of what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, you could do that. But my thing, I'm gonna get it over to him. I'm gonna let him look at it, and when I call him at 4, we can go over that then. And if he has any other questions or whatever, we can address that at that time. And if you understand what I ask him is, and when we talk again, just tell me yes or no, right? And so I don't want to drag this on any further. I don't want to, you tell me you think about it, and then you go on the witness protection program. I can't fine you for 3-6 months. Let's have an adult-to-adult conversation. If this isn't what you're looking for, let me know that. And and so yeah, you could definitely go over it with them. And that's why I set that up. I said, if we're comfortable to talk, will you tell me yes or no?
So I think that the key
Hey,
to what
Chris.
to how you operate. Hold on just a second, Marvin. We'll be right with you.
All right.
So the key here, really, like you said in our conversation earlier, is that you have to have a motivation.
Right.
Like somebody has to have a reason, and you either got to uncover that reason throughout the process, and like you were doing with, if I do this, or can we move forward type thing. But you got to get to some sort of motivation in them, and you got to know that they have a reason to do business with you. Too many options on their part pretty much makes this null and void, because they got too many ways out, or they got too much stuff in their mind thinking that they have options. And until those options kind of go away, they're not really what we would as investors call, a real solid prospect.
Yeah, what you, Victor, what was your motivation? You wanted to get closer to your grandchildren. You had a mortgage on the house. You didn't want to keep paying it for too long, but you had already factored that you were going to make some payments. So maybe it hadn't become a money pit yet.
Right.
So to me, that's not really a motivated seller. As somebody wants to sell a house,
yeah,
it's an investment property, so you're not motivated enough to, unless there's something other drastic than that, but you didn't share that. So, I would, and I kept trying to see, it's probably not that bad. And, you could probably do this, but you didn't tell me anything else. So, I figured you're not that motivated.
Okay. So are you guys getting where he's going with this? Because a lot of times we get on these phones, man, and we're talking to these people, and we're thinking that we have a deal, but we're talking to people who, in their mind, have options and other ways that they can go. And in fact, at that point, they're not really a good prospect for us. And mentally, we can get ourselves into situations where we're thinking we're in a real estate transaction. And the truth is, all we are is somebody who put a piece of paper on somebody's table, because they're not inspired at this point.
Yeah, Claude says it best. And we're in business to make money today. I want to go to the bank today. I want to get a check or a contract today. And we don't need to waste more time on the phone with a prospect than we should. And so if you don't see that within that person, then yes, you need to fire them or send them an offer and follow up with them when you think he is a little bit more motivated. Right now, you need to spend more money on that house for your motivation to increase.
You need a little more fire under you.
Right. You may sell it for top dollar, you may not, but you need to feel that pain. And right now you don't feel it.
Got it. Marianne, I see your hand. Marvin was up first, so I'm gonna go to him and then I'll be to you, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So Marvin,
Hey, Chris, Victor, I sent a text to the in the message.
I saw your chat message.
Yeah. Well, hey, Chris, but I noticed when you were saying that, you would keep saying the loans will stay in place. Some people I've talked to, I mean, when they don't hear, they're not getting to that, that the loan is actually staying in their name. They're not really thinking about that. So what do you say when you tell them the loan is staying in your name rather than just staying in place?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but it's like it registers more. Like there would be more question if you said the loan stays in my name, because when you say it stays in place, it just sounds like it's going to stay in place. They're taking, making payments, etc. But a lot of people that I've talked to, they don't really understand that even though it is the same thing, that when I say the loan actually stays in their name, but then there's more questions then.
Right. Well, you know, it kind of goes back to Victor and our conversation. You know, you really want somebody who has a need to sell it. If they don't have a need to sell it, then if you present them some type of offer that is confusing to them, they're just going to deny it anyway. They're not going to want to go through with it because they don't understand it. And the first thing, if they don't comprehend it, they're going to think that you're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
but just in regards to, you know, saying it stays in place, you just got to tell them, like, look, man, you're going to have to, this is the one thing that you got to kick around and dwell on.
So would that be one of those things if you said that though, but then once all the paperwork is done and you're at the closing, but then that's when you say, and you say, no, we signed this, I'm just going through this, and let you know it stays in place. So that means it stays in your name. That would be, oh, really? Well, I didn't quite understand that it was actually going to stand at the closing table. That's all I was getting at.
No,
I
well,
can see people asking questions then.
I generally clarify that before I get there. I make sure they understand. Look,
Okay.
I'm going to own the property. It's going to be mine.
Mm-hmm.
What you need to understand is that the loan will stay in your name for
Right. Right.
And are you okay with that?
Right.
What if you don't pay? What if I don't if you miss a payment?
Hold on, Philip. We got some folks with their hands up. So
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No problem. Just hold your question for a minute. We got Mary Ann, and then I'll come to you. Okay, Philip? All right, bro. All right. So all right. So does that answer your question, Marvin? I think basically, you know, what Chris is saying is that all of that will get cleared up. And one of the things that you said is at the closing table. Yeah, you don't want questions at the closing table. You don't want to have to clarify information at the closing table. That is way too late, and they will walk away from your deal after you put in all that time and energy because they're going to feel like now they've been hoodwinked. Okay, you never let anybody go to the closing table or get to closing day without extreme clarity in terms of what it is that's going on and what's going to happen. Do not put yourself in that situation because they will walk on you and you will have put in all this time, energy, and some money, and now you just asked out. And you know how we're investors, so we already spent that money.
Right.
You know, mentally we've already spent that money. But so you never do that.
All right.
All right. All right. So Mary Ann, you had a question. Marvin, did that answer your question, my friend?
Oh yeah. Because like at the last part there, when Chris asked, once he was explaining at the end, but then that's when he was saying, he actually said, and then I'm letting you know that the property stays in your name. That's what he was saying at the end. Yeah. But that's what I was saying. During the other conversation in the role play, I was waiting to hear him say that then before it even went that far. Cause like at 4 o'clock, would he clarify that then? Or if he didn't clarify that then it might go closer to the closing table. And then that's when the question might come up.
Yeah, trust that he would have definitely cleared that up long before he would have got to a closing table. It would have been completely spelled out.
Right.
Absolutely. I can.
Some people don't ask that question. So it's almost like, I noticed they're gonna bring it up, so I might as well kind of let them, because they're not thinking about it, because they don't have any knowledge of how things go. So some people, it just totally goes over their head, and they don't even think about it unless you really just kind of, I'm gonna let you know this. I'm gonna clear something up in case you don't understand. Then go from there.
That's definitely your job, and I definitely suggest you handle it long before the closing table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
You're welcome. Mary Ann, did any of that answer your question, or you still have a question for it?
No, now I have another question with the original. So
you have a limit of one. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
So I thought you were the role play was for lease option, but but you were saying that they still have the it's the property will be in your name, but they still have the financing in their name. Is that what?
Well,
you're saying?
what he did is okay. So I started off the role play as a lease option role play, but Chris switched it over because he was presenting a seller carryback, subject to, wrap mortgage type scenario. So it kind of switched along the way. So I started off with one particular mindset, and then he kind of, as we went, and that's why I had to stop it to realize, where we were going, because when he made his financial offer of 10,000, I'm going, well, that's what triggered it for me, because we never go there on a lease option conversation. I would never offer somebody 10,000 on a lease option conversation, right? So when he said that, I knew we were on a different conversation.
Oh, so what kind of what was your intent? What was his intent?
Well,
How he was going to buy it, subject to, or?
yeah, he was going to buy it subject to.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
subject to.
Okay, so that answered my questions.
Okay, all right, that answered both of them.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Any other questions? Anybody got anything else? Because I know that this subject to thing has been a topic of conversation for everybody for the last couple of weeks. Oh, I'm sorry. There you go, Philip. My bad, bro.
Let me get this. We're gonna get this straight. What if the person? What if the person don't pay?
Who?
Hey, I know you have a question like that. When you say what happened?
Which person doesn't pay?
No, you. When you take over the mortgage, when they take over their payments, what if they say you miss a payment? They say, what if you miss my payment?
What if I miss a payment?
Yeah.
Good question. What I generally tell them is, look, I'm gonna have a significant amount of skin in the game, so our interests are aligned. I don't want to lose this money that I just gave you. I'm about to give you 10 grand. I'm about to make $1,500 a month payments to you, and then I got to cash you out. So I got skin in the game, and if I don't pay, then you get the property back. And so I don't want to lose out on that type of investment.
So how do I get the property back? That's the question nobody really asked. How do I get the property back?
Well, and so what I do is I try to tell them in a way that they feel secure, but I tell them, look, we're going to go to an attorney. He's going to draft the documents up, and there's a document called a deed of trust. In other states, it may be called a
mortgage.
A mortgage. And in that mortgage, it's just going to say, if I don't make a payment, then you get the house back.
Yeah. I can't imagine you getting much more protection than that, because at this point now, you've not only collected a down payment of 10,000, but depending on how many months down the road, if it's 10 months down the road, that's another 15,000. So you've now collected 25,000, and you have the house back to put it back on the market. So that's kind of where your security is, right? That's you got skin in the game on the upfront. They got some security, and even though I'm assuming that that even though you don't take over the loan, you go on title now.
Yeah, I become the owner.
Okay, you become the owner of title. So now he becomes the owner, but just like every other situation, just keep in mind that when you purchase a home, right? And we all walk around, we all say my house, my home, my whatever, and people refer to it as your house. The truth of the matter is, it's the bank's house. Right? And think about it this way, you're now the bank.
Exactly.
You're now the bank. So now if something goes down and this person can't handle their business for whatever reason, you do exactly what the bank does. Is you take the property back and you go back and you do all the things that, you could just do this whole process all over again. And you could literally milk a property forever in that scenario. Or you could just, put it back on the market. You can work out, terms with the person if they're having some problem. One thing that I also want to mention, Chris you know, being the smart businessman that he is, he's going to take some monies of that down payment and he's going to put it to the side. He's not going to go and start spending all of his money on you know, on cars and boats and clothes, right? Am I correct, Chris? You gonna have you a little bit of a trust fund, so to speak, you know, an escrow account, someplace that you know that you're gonna be able to, you know, 2, 3, 4 months, you're gonna put that aside.
Most definitely, a minimum 4 to 6 months.
Minimum 4 to 6 months.
Whatever the payment I guarantee to the seller.
Nice. Okay.
I have a question with that because I know earlier you said about a 9% interest rate. I know you said earlier about that's a wraparound mortgage, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that'd be nice because the interest rate now is low.
Absolutely. Hey guys, I got a 12 o'clock that I'm a little late for, so I gotta go.
Hey man, we really appreciate you showing up. You're welcome every single week. If you want to, you know, jump in here, man. You know, we've been having this conversation about subject tools, and you kind of, you know, brought it to the forefront for us. So, you know, really appreciate you taking the time, and good luck on your appointment. I know you're gonna knock it down.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, and yeah, man, let's make some
All right,
money.
man. Let's do it.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care now. All right, guys. That was pretty good, man. I told you guys Chris was something else. You know, I've been chasing that guy for a minute. He really knows what he's doing. So let me go back to Moises. Moises, tell me what are your thoughts, my friend? I know we went away from lease option, but I think you got a sense of, you know, where we were going with that whole conversation, and you know how he set it up and everything. You're muted, just so you know.
Yes, sir. I definitely learned something. I mean, even though I don't have that much knowledge on how this lease option works, I kept seeing how he, you know, be insisting. You know, even you would say, you know, let me think about it. You know, he wouldn't take that. Let me think about it. Say, just tell me right now. You want to do it or you don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so here's what I got the most out of that conversation, and I'll keep it 100 with you guys. You know, sometimes you know I have been guilty, just like the rest of us, of you know, not pressing hard enough to find out if somebody is really there, and wanting to believe that there is a opportunity where there is not one. And what I mean by that is, until a person gets to a certain level of motivation, and we're in a market where it's a seller's market. So every seller thinks they have options until they don't. Unfortunately, the downside to that is we're probably going to have to talk to more people, right? Because you figure that the person who's at the stage of really having to close a deal like that is, the numbers are smaller, especially when you're doing marketing from such things as Zillow scrapes or Craigslist scrapes and stuff, because those people, while they have raised their hand and said that I want to sell my property, there's still a level of optimism in their mind for the most part in terms of what they can do or get. So unless you can either paint the picture such that they understand that, okay, I'm in a worse situation than I thought. Unless they can get to that point, you're still kind of dealing with somebody who feels like they have options. Again, going back to something Chris said, which we're investors. We're investors, okay? We're not home buyers, we're investors. So as investors, we've got to have deals that make sense and that have a motivated seller owner on the other side. Other than that, we're kind of setting ourselves up. We're kind of setting ourselves up for disappointment, for being ghosted, for people not following through on their word because you've given them a good idea. But that's different than having them closed. Does that make sense? Because what you know, if you think back, for those of you who have done deals, everybody who you closed a deal with at some point was a desperate seller. Pretty much, I guarantee you 100% of them, at some point they were a desperate seller. Now you either have to identify that up front or you have to help them identify it up front. Otherwise, they're a follow-up. And I mean an electronic follow-up. Not even a bunch of your time wasted calling them back and doing all that. They're an electronic follow-up. They're an email, you know, follow-up system. They're a text blast follow-up system. They're a ringless voicemail follow-up system. And we keep churning on along until we find that one somebody who it's their time. They you know, they ready to go. They done with it. It's, you know, I need you to help me. That's what we're looking for.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any other questions? Alus, I know you're always working, sweetie. You got anything that you wanted to share, or any experience you've had, or
Victor?
you know, maybe a question about a deal or anything like that?
Victor?
Yep.
Here's
Who's that,
what
Marianne?
Yes, here's what
Hi,
I've
Marianne.
noticed. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Here's what I've noticed recently.
Okay.
That it seems like the ones who start to put it on Zillow, like they've only had it a few days, okay, they're hopeful that they're going to get full price for their property.
Yes.
So, but I've also noticed more so recently that it seems like people are like at the third or fourth week, they're signing up with a realtor right away. So to me, and a lot are doing that, it seems like, from what I've seen. So it seems like then they want a full price offer. They're hopeful they'll get a full price offer with a realtor. And a lot of those homes are selling.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to figure out, okay, now at what point, you know, if you're looking for wholesale, if you're looking for the landlord buyer, if you're looking for you know, the what else? Oh, lease options, you know, then I don't see, like, I've been having a harder time like at what point, because it seems like so many are getting balled up like that.
Well,
and they're telling me this is a seller's market. This is you know, so they're not motivated at all. But I was wondering if other people have found that, or if you could shed some light on that, or.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love to. Thank you. That's a great question, by the way. So yeah, that is what you're seeing. And this is a seller's market. So again, it goes back to that conversation where we may have to make more calls, or we may have to be clear in defining exactly who our prospect is. Because if we continue to think that we're going to call the guy who just posted their thing on Zillow, understand that if it's been on Zillow for 5 days, they're very optimistic. Okay, they still believe that they can sell this house within a particular time. Do I not call them? Of course I call them. But immediately what you're trying to identify is if there's a train coming down this track and they're not tied to it. If it's not that situation, understand that you are probably going to put them in a quick follow. You'll get them off the phone real quick. You'll find out where their level of motivation is. If they're a 5 or 6, you're going to determine right away, do I have a follow-up system? Okay. If you don't have a follow-up system, you need to get one. Okay. Because a lot of these deals, and you've heard this on this conversation, you've heard it in all of your trainings and everything else that everybody else does, is that how you hear them make the comment about they got this deal you know, 3 months down the road, 4 months down the road, 12 months down the road. If you listen to Arturo talks about some deals that have taken him in excess of a year to close. Well, he didn't just disappear and then show back up a year later and close the deal, right? What he did is he continued to maintain a relationship with those people, and this is what you're looking at now, where I personally believe that once, if you can identify that there is some sort of motivation, now, number one is step off, okay? Don't get yourself into that conversation like, oh, I got a deal. You don't. Two, have a follow-up system that you can count on. Okay, something that's consistent, something where they're hearing from you all the time, something to where your credibility is being raised every single time, right? Where they're like, damn, this person is you know, they must be serious. Now, you know, what happens is if they sell, they'll unsubscribe or whatever, fine. Didn't cost you a, you know, the system was already set up, it was on autopilot, right? But what could happen is that they would come to a realization, and then they come back to you and say, look, you know, if you're still interested, and now you're talking to somebody who's at an 8, 9, or 10, and some of the things that Chris was talking about, where, you know, because a lot of what, you know, where he and I were different is that he immediately saw that I wasn't at the level of motivation that I was really going to fall for a, you know, owner finance deal. Like, I wasn't there yet, right? So that was a great lesson in understanding that there is, the only thing that matters is the person's motivation, really, right? Like, if they're not motivated, we don't have a deal. End of story. You can try to be as creative as you want to be. You can try to put as many, you know, nuggets into their environment as you possibly can. You can tell them how wonderful it would be to have, you know, that cash flow on a monthly basis, and how you're going to put X number of dollars in their pocket right now, and, you know, and if they're not motivated, all they're thinking is, you know what, somebody's going to call and buy my house in a minute. So, you know, as investors, we literally have got to come to the realization, and unfortunately, this is not going to be comfortable for you guys. We've got to come to the realization that we're literally looking for the needle in the needle stack. And I know that's different than you normally hear that saying.
Nah, that's deep.
You get in there.
Yeah, you try to stick your hand in something like that.
Exactly.
It's like, oh man.
Exactly. It's wrought with some, you know, hazards, right? But that's literally what we're doing. That's literally who we're looking for. And everybody else doesn't get the opportunity to share in my time. If you're not that guy, we're not going to we're not going to do this for a long time. Is that you, Jimmy?
Hey, Victor.
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
It's going to be a lot of digging. There's going to be a lot of digging looking for that motivated seller.
Yeah, it's exactly
a lot of work.
Right. It's a lot of work, you know. So I want to go back and piggyback on that conversation, because you're absolutely right, Jimmy. A lot of times we get into this game and we want to start to think that, you know, especially if you have some early success, you may start to think that, oh, you know, this is easy, and, you know, everybody who wants to sell their house is a prospect, and, you know, if I make enough calls to this particular type of list or this particular type of person, I'm definitely gonna get a deal. That's always something that you need to be conscious of and always sort of tweaking and understanding. Because until you get to that level of motivation, you cannot succeed in this game. And your whole process is to determine how you're going to find a methodology that moves you closer and closer to the most motivated seller you could possibly find. And another thing on that too is, a lot of us are trying to be like all over the place. Like I do this, I do lease options, I do owner financing, I do straight wholesale deals. I do all these different type of deals. While you do need to know those types of methods, or at least have access to somebody who does, because you can only have so much capacity, right? But you want to get access, and part of being in this group gives you that access. Like if you run into something, you can just put it out in the group, and I'm sure somebody can help you. But the point that I'm making right here is that you need to define who you're chasing, who that person is that you are, who that avatar is that's going to do business with you. And that's your focus. Not necessarily that you know every different method of closing every single deal, because every single deal is an opportunity. That's a mindset that will have you, 6 months down the road, having lost a whole bunch of money, and now you're kind of disenchanted with the business and you don't think that it's for you. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yes, just to piggyback of what you're saying, I'm reading a book, Gary Keller, The One Thing, and it actually talks about the same thing. Focus on one thing. Focus on who's going to be your potential client, and then now you're going to figure out how can you go after them, and just focus on just them only. How are you going to purchase it? Cash? You're just going to focus on cash. Whatever strategy you're going to work on, just focus on it. Don't do nothing else. Don't get distracted, because once you start getting distracted, you're going to forget about the one thing that you actually had in mind to do. And you actually right about that.
Yeah, I appreciate that input, Jimmy, man. Like as usual, you always bring, great value. Always appreciate having you show up for us, man. But that's exactly right. I've read that book, the one thing, and you need to figure out what is going to be my method, because I get calls from you guys a lot, right? So you guys will call me, and a lot of times I get the sense that you're trying to make this conversation, this deal fit into some paradigm that you think you can walk down and then close. That's a complete different conversation than I'm looking for subject to sellers. You start to develop an avatar about who a subject to seller is. What's the first thing that you're going to know about a subject to seller? They're in desperate need. Nobody does subject to unless it really solves a problem. Otherwise, why do it? Think about it. Why do it? Why sign your house over, have a mortgage still in your name, unless it absolutely solves a huge problem in your life? Like you're tied to some railroad tracks and the light is getting bigger, right? Other than that, what the hell are you going to be doing that for? Like if somebody comes to you and you're just a homeowner, you're not thinking, no, bro. Are you kidding? No, hell no.
Yeah, no.
Jason, before you say, Jason says if an eagle chases two rabbits, both of them get away.
So true.
That is good, Jason. Thanks for that, buddy.
Hey, Victor, I want to do some role play. I ain't do a role play in a while.
Okay.
Group. I want to do role play.
Let's do it.
Get a little hot real quick.
Okay. All right. You want to be a buyer?
Anybody? Just play. I want to be the buyer.
Okay. All right. So we're having a little bit of trouble with your phone. It's kind of going in and out, but
what about now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Okay.
All right. So Moses, I'll put you back on the spot, my man. This is your opportunity right here. You can, but this time you're just the seller, so it's easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So I'll give you a background. Jimmy, what type of do you have a product in mind that you're trying to sell, or are you trying to do a lease option on it, or does it matter, or where you want to go with it?
It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever fit the the equation, I go for it.
Yeah.
The situation.
Okay, so what I want to set up is that Moises, you have a high motivation but a lack of understanding of how to get out of your situation. Right now, you have a note that's coming due within the next couple of months. You've had some setbacks. You don't know, where you're going to get the money to handle this, and there's a potential that you and your family could be on the streets if you don't figure this out.
Okay.
All right. So
Yes, sir.
Jimmy, that's what you're speaking into. So you can uncover that motivation any way you want, and then just kind of go about solving his problem. That good for you?
That sounds great. Let me see.
All right. So
hey Moses.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? It's Jimmy.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. That property that you got on 123 Main Street, it's not for sale, is it?
Yeah, I actually did put it for sale. Why, you want to buy it?
So of course, I'm actually looking to purchase a property in the next 30 days. You're not looking to sell in the same time frame, are you?
30 days. Well, I'm not sure about how quick I want to sell it, but I'm in the middle of a bad situation now.
Well, just to let you know, Moses, you're not alone, man. Everybody everybody goes through some type of situation. This is what you call life. But you don't mind if I ask you a few questions to see if this is going to be a good fit for me or not?
Yeah, sure. What you say your name was?
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And if you have any questions for me, feel free, go ahead and ask him during our conversation. If it's not what you're looking for, just be upfront with me and tell me you're not interested, okay?
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So, Moses, on a scale from 1 to 10, how do you actually rate the condition of the property?
I would say a 9 out of 10.
9. So it sounds like this probably the best house in the neighborhood, correct?
I would say so.
You would sell,
I'm not really sure how the other houses look on the inside. That's why I'm not sure.
Okay, and then, so since you mentioned it's a 9, and how's the condition of it right now? Is it what, brand new? Sounds like you probably have what, brand new kitchen, bathroom just been updated, correct?
I did some painting and I changed the floor, the carpet floor, made it into hardwood. It cost me a lot of money.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Sometimes that's what you have to do to bring some life to the property. I'm just, I'm just kind of curious, why would you even sell a property that's actually in great condition?
Well, like I mentioned before, I'm in the middle of a bad situation, and it's just, the whole idea of selling the house came up with my wife.
And how long have you been, going through this some bad situation?
For the last year. A whole year.
Well, what actually led to that, the situation that you're going through?
I'm sorry?
I said, what led to the situation that you're going through that make you actually want to sell your house?
I'm the only income in the house, and due to the spending on the new hardwood floors and painted the house inside and outside, you know, money became short.
Oh, okay. I totally understand where you come from. A buddy of mine, now it's the pandemic, since he's actually the only breadwinner, things are actually getting a little tight for him. And, him and his wife been going back and forth lately. I just hope you're not going through the same thing, are you?
I'm sorry?
I said, I just hope you're not going through the same thing, are you? Dealing with the bills and money issues, a lot of stress on your part. You're not going through the same thing, are you?
Actually, kind of.
Yes, I can understand where you're coming from. Just to let you know, you're not alone. Okay.
Okay, so tell me what you want to do about it then.
That's a good question. I appreciate you for asking me. Well, I'm here to see if I can actually, solve the problem. Probably be a doctor and provide the right medicine to see if we could actually make something happen today. How you feel about that?
How you want to do that?
Huh? Well,
I said,
that's a good question. Well, see if I could actually purchase the property. By any chance, I'm not guessing. The property is it free and clear? Is there a mortgage on it?
it's not clear. The mortgage.
It's a mortgage. Okay, when you say you actually have a mortgage, you wouldn't mind sharing it with me. You have a $50,000 mortgage left, 100,000 left on the property.
A little more, but more like 80 to 88.
88,000.
Correct.
Okay, and what about the monthly payments? What you paying 500 a month, 1,000, 1,500?
700.
Oh wow, that's actually low. Congratulations. And I assume you're current, correct?
Not really. 2 months.
2 months. Oh, okay. Wow. Imagine 2 months behind. So I'm pretty sure you're receiving letters for the property, correct?
That's right. And phone
Yeah, I
calls.
understand. Phone calls, letters, and I'm pretty sure you're not able to sleep. Wow. I understand. That's good right there. And how much you think the property's worth?
Well, I'm not a professional, but I did some research and come up with a number of 188.
188. You mentioned about research. What type of research you doing? Zillow or
Yeah, some houses very similar to mine. With the same amount of bathrooms and bedrooms.
Oh, okay then. Okay, that makes sense. So, well, I can actually tell you an intelligent guy. You get some time out of your busy schedule, to enlighten yourself as far as what properties in the area are selling for. Let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about me and what is it that we do, and let's see if we can make this happen or not. I'm an investor where we typically look for price of time.
Jimmy, let me jump in here. Let me jump in here real quick. I think we might be having a little bit of trouble making out what you're saying. Moises, are you okay? Because I'm having a little bit of trouble.
Oh, I am definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want you to waste all of that good technique that you're doing and us not being able to hear you. Is there any way you can maybe improve your audio?
What about now? It's because I'm in the car driving. What about now?
Oh, that's probably why.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. We can try that, and I'll just pull your coattail if I see that we're not able to hear you. Okay.
What about now? It's good.
Yeah, much better.
Okay. And yeah, it's probably where I'm at. So Moses said, go ahead, what, Moses?
I was gonna say maybe you should get inside of McDonald's.
I'm driving.
Get the free Wi-Fi there.
Free Wi-Fi, right?
That's actually a good one, Moses. I should try that next time. Moses, so Moses, you said you actually did some research and the price of the property was again?
188,000.
180, and you 180,000 profit. Okay. So Moses, imagine if we could wrap this up in the next 30 days. And you wouldn't have to worry about this property no more, and you'll be able to sleep at night, and you and your wife won't have to go back and forth no more. You're able to relax. What's the best you can actually do today?
And if you're saying for 30 days, I'll stick with the 188,000.
180. Man, I appreciate your honesty with the numbers that you just gave me. Well, Moses, with a property like this, I can actually be at a ballpark between, it's gonna be all cash. I need to be at 100,000. Between 100 and 110. How do you feel about that?
That wouldn't make it. That wouldn't cover my whole debts.
No, that wouldn't cover your whole debt because you mentioned that you owe 88, correct?
Yeah, but I have some other debts to cover.
Oh, okay. And how much you actually have left to cover?
Well, on this house, it's 88,000.
And you mentioned about other debts you have to cover. What about the other debt? How much is it?
Those other debts are personal.
Personal, okay. Well, I really doesn't want to know about that. Thank you for sharing that. Well, actually, at this moment, it seems like it's actually over at this moment. Moses.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear what I said? It seems like it's over. With the cash, it's not going to make sense for you, and so it sounds like it's really not going to be enough for you to cover your personal debt and extra debt that you have going on. Correct?
That's right, sir.
But but now that it's actually over, before I go up, so how is that I can actually get you the 180 that you asking for, where I could actually give you a upfront deposit. We can actually work something out as far as renting it to me for the next 24 months, and then we cash you out. How do you feel about that?
That's something I have to think about it.
Well, Moses, to be honest, it's no. You're not allowed to think about it.
Then I guess that's a no.
It's okay if you're not allowed to think about it. It's okay. You can actually tell me you're not interested. Okay? Is that what you're really trying to say? You're not interested?
I mean, I have to talk to my wife. It's not a decision that I can make on a simple phone call.
Of course, Moses. I actually understand. I'm actually married as well. And matter of fact, I like a guy to actually respect this woman. I spoke to my wife. My wife told me go ahead and buy your house. Is your wife available now? So we could move in with some things that you or she may have.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I will have to set a conversation with her later on today.
What time is later on?
After 5.
5 o'clock. Okay, here's what we can actually do, Moses. Once you actually speak to your wife at 5 o'clock, and you guys come to an agreement, what's gonna happen next when we speak back around 5:30?
Well, that would all depend. If it meets the needs, and it might be a yes.
Maybe when you say might, what does might mean?
That might. It's just might depend what you thinks,
Oh, so that means a yes or a no?
and maybe.
It's okay. Yes. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do, Moses. I'm gonna go ahead and put the information what we just spoke about. 5 o'clock here. Go over with your wife, and then by 5:30 I should hear back from you. Correct?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
And your email address is again, Moses.
123@gmail.com.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And what questions do you have for me, Moses, before I actually get on the phone and give you all this information?
So far, I have no questions.
No question? Okay then. So most likely I hear back from you at 5:30, and then we'll go from there. Okay?
Awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, you're in hand. All right, let's have some feedback. If anybody has any feedback, I'll start with Jimmy. Jimmy, how did you feel about the role play?
The role play, I felt okay with the role play. I sensed with him, he kept coming with all these type of objections, which kind of makes me feel like he's really not sure what is it that he's trying to do, but he needs permission from his wife before he can make a decision. So actually, I try to get it out of him, but it sounds like he's giving me this drive. So 5 o'clock hit. Let's see what's actually gonna happen from there.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Before I chime in, Moises, give us some of your feedback, man. What did you experience? How did you feel it went? Where do you feel like there was a disconnect, if that's what you felt?
Well, I was sticking to the price range that supposedly me and my wife would talk about, which was 188,000. For some reason we come up with that number,
Okay.
and him coming up with that cash offer, it just wouldn't be something I decide right in there. So I guess at that 5:30 call, it would be his answer.
Okay. So I'll give you guys a part of what I think was the problem was that there was the phone thing. So I wanted to just kind of touch on that with you guys. When you guys are making your calls, when you guys are doing, you need to post yourself up. You need to put yourself in an environment that allows you to focus 100% and to eliminate all of your distractions, right? Because you want to have that person be able to hear 100% of what it is that you're communicating, and you want to be able to hear 100% of what they're communicating, including the nuance in their voice, the raising and lowering of the volume. All of those things tell you things, right? So Jimmy was at a little bit of a disadvantage because, obviously he wouldn't be making phone calls while in the car unless he was responding to someone or someone called him. Normally, because I know he's a professional, and he would normally be in a position where he can make his phone calls and wrap up deals. So I just want to put that out there, that it's important that you control every aspect of that environment during the time that you're on the phone with those people.
That's right.
Yeah, and you right about that, Victor. Normally when I do the role play with you guys, I'm actually at my house, so I'm actually role playing with you guys. But since I'm in the car and we don't have enough time, I would like to get in and do some role play, at least get something in before I get to where I need to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally get it, Jimmy. I know how you do it, my brother. I know you're a true professional, and I know that you like to get your workout in, and this is what this looks like for you to make sure that you get in and get a couple of sets up.
Yes, and normally I just be somewhere where I can actually do it. It's quiet, and I could where it's not gonna be a lot of noise in the background. But this time I'm in the car. I got to do what I got to do. Like for example, somebody call me on the phone right now. I'm in the car. So I could eliminate the noise. Something I gotta do, and somebody else, you call somebody else, you lost them.
Yeah.
But any suggestions, any mistakes, anything supposed to be done better? Because it's better that we all
outside of the fact that you were at a disadvantage because he was trying to figure out what you were saying, which kind of immediately put you at a disadvantage because he couldn't hear you clearly. And so even in a role play, it starts to become a little frustrating, right? You're like, well, what are you saying? What do you want? So you want to avoid getting somebody to that point where they're like, you know what, I'm working too hard, right? So that's the one thing dynamic that I noticed that came up is that, I think Moises felt like he was working too hard in this conversation.
In reality, I was waiting for that 5:30 phone call to be, a better connection or I
exactly.
would have been like, oh,
Exactly. You had already kind of checked out from the conversation. I could tell it from your responses. I could tell it, I could see you. So I can also tell because, and also I have a lot of experience, talking to people on the phone, and that's how it looks. If somebody calls me and I can't hear them, you'll call me when you get to a better phone. Okay, so that was a disadvantage. But as
you
far
got
as
to email me.
there you go, or email me, right? But as far as the content goes, there was an opportunity there. I thought that if Jimmy would have had some clear communications, he would have been able to hear some things, and he would have been able to push Moises to a point at which he would have been really able to understand that Moises was in a situation, right? Because and here's what happens. Here's kind of what the dynamic that sort of played there, right? Moises is in a situation and he's kind of embarrassed by it, right? He's not going to just blurt out that, oh, I need help right away. He's gotten calls from a whole bunch of different people. We all know that the person on the other line may or may not be savory. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in our environment right now where shit could just go sideways real quick. You're dealing with people who don't have the best intentions and aren't operating with the utmost integrity. So at some point, if you don't get that feeling, you're not going to open up. And if somebody doesn't open up with you, it's over. It's over. Because for Jimmy, what needed to happen is that he needed to be able to get to Moises to the point at which he could paint a picture where Moises saw himself being run over by that train. If he doesn't see that, his motivation is it's over here somewhere, right? It's in the ones and twos and threes, even though in his mind he has a problem, right? But now it just feels like I have another problem. I can't hear this guy, and he's trying to tell me something that I don't even know if I want.
exactly.
Is that where you were at? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's what it looks like, guys. So, there is so much that we can pull out of just this little bit of exchange right here in terms of who you need to be and how you need to speak to someone such that they absolutely get what you're talking about, get that you are professional in your approach to things. And like I said, Jimmy, this is not I know how you do it, bro. I know this ain't, under normal circumstances, this is just a role play for you. But, for the rest of the participants, understand, control your environment, control your mood. Here's one of the things that I have come to understand about myself. If I'm not in the right mood, if I'm not in the right mindset, I won't make phone calls. And I know that sounds sometimes counterintuitive, right? Because you want to keep on a schedule, you want to do your work every day, you want to be this professional investor, and all of those sorts of things, right? But the truth of the matter is, folks, you could cost yourself just as much money by getting on the phone and not being prepared and not being in the right mindset and not having the right body language and not using the right tonality. You might as well not even make those calls, because now you're just adding more stuff to your ultimate decision to not do this business or not make those calls, or not, because you're creating and attracting a certain negativity about where you are. And it doesn't take much. What's his name? Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins talks, most of his stuff, if you ever listen to Tony Robbins, most of his stuff is about states and about changing your state or changing someone else's state, right? So when you hear people say things like, if you're going to make phone calls, get your energy up, stand up. If you have to stand up to make phone calls, stand up and make phone calls. You have to run in place until you get that, your blood flow up or whatever, then that's what you need to do. But you need to feel like you're going into this conversation with full effectiveness. if and rather than not make phone calls, probably a better suggestion to make is that you understand how to change your state. So when you make your phone calls, you go into your phone calls in a state, right? Like I'm ready to make phone calls. I'm ready to make money. I'm ready to close deals. I believe that I'm going to find a person who is just waiting for me to call them right now and solve a problem in their life. You come in with that optimism, with that energy, with that drive. All right. The other thing about that I noticed in the call too, Moses, is that, and I know in this case you were a seller, so you had the advantage of being able to have whatever sort of mood or whatever tonality you wanted to have because you were playing the role of a seller, right? And I'm assuming that's where you were sort of coming from. But typically, you want to make sure that that you're solid in your ability to listen and in your ability to deliver something with energy and enthusiasm to the other person. If you guys have ever heard Justin on his role play, right? His role play, he will mirror the caller or the other party. He's really good at mirroring the other party, but he never goes outside of his personality. And he always seems to have this ability to give you room in the conversation. Like he always has this ability to just allow you to just like, oh, I totally and absolutely get that. You know, I understand why you're saying that. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. And then he says, what if I could?
Yep.
And what he also likes to say is, you wouldn't be interested in that, would you? Right? Which is, y'all know how that works, right? You suggest something opposite and people are like, no, they want to go in the other direction because that's just the way human beings are. So it's a technique, right? So you always want to be conscious. Let's mirror the person we're speaking to the best of our ability. That doesn't mean become them. That just means, more than anything, it means their pace, right? So if somebody is like me, right? Like I may talk high energy and I may talk fast and I may talk in an attempt to deliver sort of, clinically. So if you're talking to me, I am going to become real impatient with somebody who's talking and, I'm not really, if somebody talks to me like that, I'll hang up the phone. Like I'll literally be like, you know what? I got another call coming in.
Thank you. Oh my God. Somebody said it. Somebody finally said it.
Right? Did you want to share something on that, Philip? You had an experience?
Yes, I had this elder lady, right? She wanted to sell her property for $690,000, right?
Uh-huh.
And she was going into it. She went back 1945. I said, oh my God, she's that old, right? So I'm like, so I'm asking myself, why did I call her again?
Right.
Like, what did I do? Look, what did I do to deserve this? So I realized this. So I'm like, you know what? I gotta go. I can't deal with this. I can't.
Okay. So how did it turn out? Did you end up speaking to her, or did you?
I spoke to her. I spoke to her, and my daughter came about. I said I had to go get my daughter, so I'm gonna have to give you a call back later, right? Because my daughter's in there crying, and she heard my daughter. I said, yes, thank you, daughter, for helping me out that situation.
Okay, so you used it as a parachute and bailed out.
Yeah, basically. I said it's not worth it. I don't care how much money it is.
Okay, so going back to the conversation in terms of how, so you found that you could not mirror her, or you found that she was just at such a low level of understanding, perception, or presence that you really just could not connect with her?
It's the fact that we had a bad Wi-Fi connection. That's how bad it was.
Oh, got
not
it.
A signal,
okay.
not a signal. If I had to mirror her, I'd be broken.
Okay. So it was just basically just a bad communication in terms of the electronics of it, the mechanics of it.
As a meaning, yeah. It's like talking to my history teacher. It's like talking to my history teacher.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, guys, we're coming up on the hour. Does anybody have any questions, any feedback, or anything like that?
Hey, Victor, I have a question. So
Hey,
are you,
Sandra.
hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. So, are you saying more like kind of like match their tone? Like I think like match their tone, like how they're talking. Like if you're very like I'm from Boston, so I'm like naturally a fast, you know what I mean? Like I'm a fast, talker.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And so here's what you'll find, Sandra.
because somebody, sorry, because one of the caller accused me of being, he said that I sound too smooth.
Yep.
So that's what I think you're saying is that you got to match, because especially if you're up north and the way that people speak in the South is very different. And sometimes they don't like that. It gives them this greasy feeling. So sometimes you have to match their tone. Sometimes because they are speaking slow. That's just, you know what I mean? Is that what you're kind of saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
And when I say match, the most important part of the match thing is pace.
Right, exactly. Match the conversation, how fast you're going or too
Yeah,
slow.
match
Okay.
the conversational pace, because they're right. Like if somebody like you and I gets on the phone with certain people, especially like from the South, where they're used to a slower pace of life, they're not rushed like we are, right? They don't have to be there yesterday like we do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So their whole way that they communicate and take in information is different than us.
Yeah. That's one thing I had to learn.
Yeah. Because if you don't, you find yourself just leaving a whole bunch of business sitting right there to someone who was just able to come in and say, and a lot of times it's just being your ability to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we talk about it on this call and as part of our training is premature presentation. A lot of us want to do a presentation and share with them exactly what we want them to know, and we want them to know right now, right? Now, oftentimes you can't do that right away, especially when you're dealing with people that are used to a slower pace in their life. You've got to kind of get in there with them, and you may have to slow everything down and say, you know what, I get that. And yeah, I appreciate you sharing that with me. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Would that be okay? Which is different than, I completely get that. I know you're in a hurry. Look, if I can ask you a few questions, you ask me a few questions, and if there's a match, we can do business. Otherwise, feel free to fire me. Is that okay with you? See, if I say that to you, Sandra, you totally get it, and then we're off and running, right?
Yeah.
But if I did that same thing to some other people, I would absolutely and completely turn them off and blow them out the water and come off as Mr. Slick.
Right.
And that's something that you have to control, not them.
Yeah, he accused me of talking like Miss Cleo, and I know she doesn't have a good reputation because and all that. So I was like, oh Lord. All right, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's it. Use it to your advantage. You got your hand up, Jason?
Hey, Victor.
Yeah, Jimmy. Hold on a second, Jimmy. Let me get Jason real quick.
Oh, hey, Victor. Yeah, just I wanted to ask you about home warranty, and we don't have to do that right now. Can I just put it on the Skype page or?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can ask me about that. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Message me in the group Skype or whatever.
And back to
Hey,
I'm
Victor.
sorry. Somebody said Miss Cleo. She did make a lot of money with that psychic hotline, so she had that going for her.
Yeah, but
she did, but she was a fraud in the end. That's what happened, I think.
She's a fraud, and people remember the fraud.
Yeah,
part.
Yeah.
I don't want to be remembered for that.
Yeah. That's not.
You don't want anybody to think.
Yeah,
No,
that's not
no,
a good
of course not. Yeah, of course not.
Yeah. Jimmy,
Call me now. Call me now. Call me now.
So, Victor.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Okay. Next time when something like that happen, okay, I'm speaking to a homeowner because Moses didn't say anything about he can't hear. He didn't say anything, you know.
Okay.
So next time when something like that happens, how would I know that there's something wrong with my phone if I'm not hearing anything going on as far as, you know, as far as like I'm aware of what's actually going on with my phone? How would I know?
That's interesting, and
Because
I
Moses
just
didn't
realized
say
that
anything.
when you ask that question, one of the things I always ask is, "Can you hear me okay?"
Okay.
Yeah, it's really that simple. Can you hear me okay?
Gotcha.
Can you make out? Can you make out what I'm saying? No, I'm having a hard time. Well, let me hang up and call you right back. Like I do that. Like,
but if they're not saying
I guess for
something
me
wrong
now,
with
it's
the
become
phone.
kind of second nature.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Victor, it's George.
Hey, George.
Hey, man, I had a situation where we talking about, trying to get people to open up. And what I did was I just asked them, I said, well, can you tell me a little bit about the house and why you're trying to sell it? And shut up. And this situation was, she was a divorce. They were going through a divorce. And I just let her run for like 15 minutes, man. And just, and that kind of broke the ice. And I mean, it worked great because I was, interacting with her and saying, yeah, I know how you feel. And I said, I've been through divorce myself and blah. But what my initial thing was just to let her know that, I'm just, not coming in there like some kind of, shyster or whatever. Just, can you tell me a little bit about the house and, why you're trying to sell it or why you need to sell it? Sometimes, if they're not motivated, they'll say, well, I don't need to sell it. And then, you know where you're at,
Yeah.
and then sometimes they're just, they'll just keep on talking and talking. And okay, they want to, they want to.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, how do
Yeah. So what was your question in that?
Wasn't the question. I was just thinking about I'm listening to the role plays and stuff that were going on, and I'll just, why don't you just ask them why they're trying to sell it or why they need to sell it, and then just let them, come back and it's kind of like a way to gauge their motivation,
Yeah.
The ones that not motivated, they can say, well, I don't need to sell it. I had that happen too. Well, I don't need to sell it. I just, they just kind of
and you disqualify them quickly and on to the next one.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to trust yourself to feel if there's a sense that they're not telling you all there is to tell, then maybe you want to dig in with them a little bit more, because sometimes your instincts are saying, you know what, this person's not telling me everything about this deal, especially if so you've gone through prop stream, that they got something going on that they that they need to deal with and they need to deal with right now. But we got to understand, we're calling these people and we're strangers to these people. At some point, and while you don't want to overplay the whole bonding thing and get in there, trying to make friends, at some point you've got to figure out a way within your ability to talk and and your personality to put them at ease enough to where they will have this conversation with you. Like, that's our job. Like, if we can't get that done, we pretty much don't need to be trying to be in this business, period. Because our job is to get them to have a conversation with us. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's part of it. So before I wrap up, you guys, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys can notice, I know it's not very big, but doing some one-on-one coaching and stuff now. I have a calendar out there and everything for you guys to take a look and see if in fact there's some coaching that you think would be a benefit to you. And you can just get in touch with us at realestatewholesalersclub.com, and you'll see our calendar and everything right there. I don't know if you can see it now, but we're, one-on-one coaching, guaranteed to get you some results. It's a 90-day program. Give me a call, put yourself on the calendar, and I'll explain everything about it. how it works, how it can benefit you, what kind of, guarantees we have, and et cetera, et cetera. So love to work with you guys. If it's something you might be interested in, I would love to be able to help you get to your first deal. If you're having challenges, let's go over them. Let's figure out a technique. Let's figure out some kind of way, a game plan to get you to your first deal within the first 90 days of the one-on-one coaching. That's the whole goal of the one-on-one coaching. So
you can put that in the chat.
Yeah, that was the information. Just go to realestatewholesalersclub.com, realestatewholesalersclub.com, and you'll see my calendar.
Okay.
All right. Hey, you guys, thank you for another fantastic. It's 11:08 now. We're a little bit over. Want to thank all you guys.
Victor, one more. Sorry, one more question. I think he may have left. Sorry. Well, okay. Was it Jason? Jason had mentioned something about home warranty. I came in at 1 o'clock. What was he? What did you?
Okay, all right, you guys. I'll deal with the home warranty deal. All right.
Because I know we were supposed to do home warranty this Wednesday. I remember that. We had a lot of questions from Justin's thing. So sorry. Sorry, Victor.
You're not sorry. No, it's just
sorry,
fine.
But not sorry.
Oh, I'm good. So what we were talking about is when I do a lease option deal, and oftentimes you run into that. What about if something happens to my house? What if they tear my house up? I'm not going over there to do any repairs and whatnot. Okay, first of all, they're a homeowner, Mr. Seller, so they are responsible for all of the repairs. And what we do to make sure that in case there is something major that may break down, we require them to purchase a home warranty. The home warranty is part of the upfront cost to the buyer, the tenant buyer, and they actually pay for that as part of the whole process. So you can either, what I do is I let them know that that's included and that they will be paying for it. So, and typically it's about $500. I get a discount because I do it so often till I can get it. I can get it a little bit lesser than that at $450, maybe $430. Okay, but I tell them it's $500. If I get it less, then I just keep the change or whatever. But that's part of the cost of moving in, and everybody appreciates it, right? The seller appreciates it because now they know that everything on the low end of the repair hierarchy is going to get taken care of by the new owner, tenant buyer, and everything above that is covered. I
remember this last time, Victor, I took notes about this because you said that you usually pay 2 months rent to seller, first month's rent to tenant buyer, and home warranty. So I wonder, is what you guys covered today, was it different than that? That's what I was just asking. Was it different than what I already know in terms of, because he just mentioned home warranty and he was going to put it in a chat. I'm talking about Jason. So I didn't know if maybe, I thought maybe he works for a home warranty company or something like that. I didn't know he was a.
No.
Okay.
No. Jason, you can clear it up if you want me to clear up the question.
Yeah, if you don't mind, it'll probably only take a sec. So what if your end game, like I'm in a house right now that I have a 5-year lease option with a 2-year extension if we choose to, but I want to own, this is one that I want to own in the end. Okay. Home warranty, because so I'm getting ready to put renters back in. I'm here now.
Okay.
In the house. I drove 800 miles a couple of days ago to get here.
Okay.
But I'm going to rent it again because my end game is to own it, home warranty, for the big stuff that may go wrong.
Okay.
That's what that possible?
So you definitely, in that case, if you're just taking on renters, you may not be able to have them pay for the home warranty, but I would definitely suggest you get one, because it'll cover all of your major stuff, including your roof, your plumbing, your washer and dryer, if in fact you're leaving any of that right there, any appliances that you have, your garbage disposal, all of that stuff, your air conditioning and heating units, all of that stuff can go wrong. I was just going to tell a story. I did that with a home that we just closed on like 2 months ago, and I got a call from them asking me about the home warranty thing, right? Because they said, does it cover appliances? I said, yes, it does. He goes, because my dryer went out. So I followed up with her. I said, yeah, call the home warranty company or whatever, you know. The home warranty, just so you know, stays on the house. It doesn't go with you. So they just need to know who the owner of the property of record is. But once it's set up, they're going to come to the house. So the tenant can call and have them come out. They're going to pay a service charge when they come out, and that service charge will cover everything up to a particular point. Right? Or I should say that service charge will cover them coming out. If in fact they can't repair something, including the air conditioner, they will replace it. Like she ended up getting a brand new dryer.
Cool. Yeah,
So she was excited.
If you pay the
awesome.
home warranty,
So I'll just have to call.
Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
Oh, that's okay. No, I was just going to say, so I just need to call a few home warranty companies, unless you have one.
Home warranty companies
who's in
your area, get a couple of quotes. They'll send you over an email with all the quotes. You know, call Fidelity, call Select, call First American. Those are the first three that I call all the time to see if they're in my area.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that.
Yep, for sure.
Victor, if you're paying for home warranty as part of your down payment, do you also put a home warranty in the lease agreement for the tenant buyers to get, or is that double? Is that like the same thing?
It's the same thing. The tenant buyer is the one who's actually going to pay for the home warranty, even though it has to be in the owner of record's name, but they can call and they can make the arrangement. They don't, the owner doesn't have to do anything else about it. The owner can just let the home warranty company know that it's for, you know, that he has tenants in that building, they would be calling. That's it. End of story. Now the tenant can call if something breaks.
No, hold on. Maybe I didn't ask it correctly. So let's say you're the seller. I give you part of my down payment includes home warranty. Okay. In my lease agreement with the tenant buyer, it's required that they also get a renter's insurance. Correct. Now, do I also require them to also purchase home warranty or not? Because I already paid it down payment. That's what I'm asking. I already paid.
I do, and it's not part of their down payment.
The down payment to the seller, it's not part of it. So you have it double. You have it in the lease agreement, as well as you also paid down payment to the homeowner for the home. That includes home warranty. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do not.
So in your down payment that you've said you give 2 months rent to the seller. First month's rent
I give first and last plus a security deposit, which acts to reduce the balance that's owed on the property. So for instance, if I'll give you first and last, that doesn't affect anything. That's a typical rental situation, right? Everybody knows that one, right? The $3,500 deposit, though, reduces the price of the property by the $3,500.
Okay.
So if I let's say, I'll give you an example. You want to sell me the house for $200, right? I sell the house for $210. The down payment is going to be about $15,000 because I'm going to get my the $210, and then I'm going to, you know, give the deposit first and last or whatever. It's now going to be an outstanding balance on the property of $96,500 or $196,500. Does that make a little bit more sense? So the deposit reduces the balance, nothing else reduces the balance, period.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the balance. Do you understand, Jason, what I'm trying to ask? Sorry, I'm okay. Victor, I'll let you go. Sorry, I'll bring it back up tonight because we meet again tonight, right?
Yes, at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll bring it back up tonight again. It might be me that I'm not presenting it well. So thank you. Sorry about that.
I'll make it real quick in 30 seconds. The bottom line is that when I present, when the tenant buyer comes, they know that they're going to have to pay for a home warranty. It's in the agreement that they have to pay for a home warranty. End of story. The home warranty is going to be in the owner's name because they're still the owner, but the home warranty is going to be on the property itself, and they'll also be required to carry renter's insurance, which is another way that I protect the seller.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna put myself back on mute, Victor. Thank you.
No, you're good, Sandra. Keep it
Like
from the
Honda's
love.
not here to make me look good because she would have 1,000 questions. Where is she? Thank you, guys. Thank you for your patience.
No problem. JC, you have one more question before we go?
Just on the, does the option consideration that you receive, does that come off the price?
It comes off the price.
You know,
yeah,
so
their price is $210. So
right.
by the time they pay me the 15, that reduces it down to 195 balance. Yes.
Only in the event that they actually purchase it.
Only in the event that they
right?
actually purchase it. That's right. All of this is only in the event they actually purchase it.
Otherwise, okay.
Yeah, nothing else. If they don't actually purchase it, they lose everything that they put on. They understand that, and nothing is refundable at this point. They know that if they don't fulfill, they're going to just walk in. Sorry, bye. Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck
cool.
on your next one.
I got it. That clicked something. That clicked for me. I appreciate that, Victor.
All right, for sure. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us as long as you did. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you. For
I got one more before you go.
And the loyalty. Philip, why you always wait until I get ready to log off?
Because before you log off.
What do you want? What do you want, man?
I was asking if I wanted to invite people to come on the channel. Would that be possible?
If they're part of your team, you know, if they're part of your team, you know, we could probably let them come on, you know, once or twice. But really, this is this is for our VIPs and for Claude students.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can join the VIP though at Real Estate Wholesalers Club.
Real Estate Wholesale Club.
All right, you guys. You guys have a great rest of the week. Go make some money. All right.
You too.
Thanks
again,
Victor. Bye.
No, you're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.